Hey, it's Ian Thompson with Carly Gibson, and we're here for the November sales report. Carly, how are you?
I am good, thanks, Ian. How about you?
Well, I'm totally rejuvenated back from Toronto. I went to a conference there, to see our business coach, and it was very good. Lots of good ideas for 2024. Not that it isn't going to be rocky. It could be a rocky little bit, I think. Everybody
Yeah,
seemed to agree with that, but overall it was good. And we heard from an economist as well. We're going to get to that in a few minutes here, what he thought is going to come up in 2024. Okay.
oh, I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah. So anyways, let's start as we always do with single family. This is just for the month of November here. And you can see that we sold 63 homes in the month of November. It's about 30% fewer than we normally sell on average in the last 10 years. Average price is 802,000, active listings 280, months of inventory 4.4. We're going to get into months of inventory. I did a slide this month just to show how the different categories that you're in, the different classifications of condos or houses mean, and price points mean different months of inventory. Months of inventory is strength of the market. Anyways, we'll talk about that. So you can see what's going on there. Why don't you go through condominiums here?
All right, so we sold in November. There was 19 condominiums sold. Average price that they were selling for was 407. Active listings 103, and months of inventory way up there at 5.4. And so as we have people that are thinking of selling, right, it's good to manage expectations on how quick that's going to look. It's a big contrast from the last few years of what we were seeing, right? So that's what's happening in the condo market right now. If you
And we
want to
also
sell,
had
it's got to be, oh, go ahead.
Well, we also had our property manager this morning at the sales meeting, didn't we, Marlon?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Rental pros downstairs, they're an excellent job. And he was talking about the large volume of condominiums being built, purpose-built condominiums, right? These are built by investors. So there's going to be more and more options for tenants, right? For renters, which only means that rent is going to come down. And I think he said it is coming down already. I'm going to get those numbers from him and we'll publish that another time. But something to think about if you're in the investment business. The tenants don't have the upper hand, but the more and more options they have, then they will, right? Which has been different than it was before. So that's condominiums and townhomes in the month of November here. 15 sold, average price 618. That's down a bit. Active listings 54, months of inventory 3.6. Now, I wanted to go down to in different price points because this is something I think that when we talk about months of inventory, that's the strength of the market. How long is it going to take? If you sold 100 homes and there's 25, you sold 25, there's 100 for sale. It's going to take 4 months. That's to sell those homes. That's months of inventory. However, as you can see on the screen here, it's different for different price points, right? So between 700 and 900, it's 8 months of inventory. Between 900 and 1.1, it's 4 months of inventory. Now, this is interesting here, between 900 and 1.1, but when you look at the sale prices that are in there, they're substantially down. Like people are taking big price cuts to get a home to sell in this price range here. 1 million to 1.3 is 6.8 months of inventory, and 1.3 million plus, that's everything over 1.3, there's 17 months of inventory. So a year and a half.
Wow.
Pretty
It's a long
much,
time.
right? Well, it is a long time, and I think it's important to know that in your specific category, what's going on before you put the home on the market, so that you're not surprised, disappointed, all those sorts of things where perhaps you're thinking, I'm going to put my home on the market, I'm going to get a ton of showings right away. In fact, it's going to take longer, and it's just really an adjustment of a mindset here. I've decided to put my home on the market for any number of reasons. There's no bad reasons to do it. It's just that it's going to take longer. So perhaps you do want to get it on sooner than later, so at least you're in the game there. And as far as price points, clearly when you're over 1.3 million, there's certain segments of the public that always have money, regardless of the economy, right? That makes sense. That they're cash buyers. Perhaps they're not as influenced by interest rates as first-time buyers are, clearly, right? So,
Yeah, there's usually one specific feature that they're really specifically looking for, like a shop with a hoist or a view of
yes.
something specific. So, yeah.
Yeah, and those kind of homes always sell, but this is important. So when, if you're asking us to come and see your house, we're always going to talk about months of inventory, because that just gives you an idea in your specific category. Hey, what's going on now? All right. I also mentioned I was in Toronto and I was at a conference last week. It was cold there, by the way. Woo-hoo. -4, but it said it felt like -12.
Oh,
Yikes.
Goodness.
Yikes. Of course, I had
your toque.
my thick West Coast sweater, not this little thing. Anyways, one of the speakers was Benjamin Tal, the deputy chief economist, and he was talking about the interest rate environment, which is interesting what's going on right now. I mentioned today, we're seeing one of the banks doing 4.99 for a 5-year fix, which is coming down, but still, that's different than the Bank of Canada rate, that benchmark where they've got that inflation thing in their mind of 2%. I think we're at 3.1 now. We're down when it was 3.8. Now it's 3.1. They're trying to get to 2. But his thought was we wouldn't see the Bank of Canada drop their rate at least until late spring, sort of thing. And that kind of gives us an idea of what's going on for sellers that are thinking of putting their home on the market, which is something we wanted to talk about, Carly, because I think a lot of people, well, we know ourselves, we've been seeing a lot of people in the last 2-3 weeks saying, hey, we're thinking of putting our home on the market in the spring. What's it worth and what can we do? And we wanted to talk about getting ready, even right now, to start to think those top 3 things, Carly. What would they be?
Yeah, I mean, and I know we haven't gotten through Christmas and we're talking about late spring, but if you're looking to be part of the spring market, it's really just around the corner. We say the spring market here starts February 1st, and there's a few things when you're getting ready that take time to get done. So the top 3 would be paint and carpet and appliances. So if you're thinking of updating any of those 3 things, it's good to kind of make your calls and get that all lined up so that you're ready when the time comes to list. And maybe you can even get a Boxing Day sale or a deferred payment. You get your house on the market in February and you don't have to pay for the appliances until after your home is already sold, right? So yeah, so if you need any names, give us a shout. We're happy to share those resources with you.
Yeah, we just had our house painted. It takes a long time, for a good person to be available, because they got to book the time. If you call in the middle of January, it could be March. And I think here you need to be on the market before then, because, spring does come a lot earlier here in the prairies. That's for sure. Having lived in Winnipeg, I can tell you that it's much earlier than it is in Winnipeg. Anyways, all right, Carly, how do we get a hold of you?
You can give me a call at 250-618-6245 or email me at carly@ianthompsonrealestate.com.
Sounds great. And we want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
Merry Christmas. Thanks.